Hey, Scott Tranter here, host of CNY Flavor, and we have a special show in store for you today. I have the privilege and the honor to be here with Chef Michael Latreille at Michael's Fine Food and Spirits right here in Sangerfield, right outside Waterville, on the corners of 20 and 12, Route 20 and 12. It's only 15 minutes out of Utica, so I know all you people out there think that it's a long way to go. It's really quick. Michael, thank you so much for having us here.
My pleasure.
I'm going to let Michael talk in just a second here because he's got some wonderful things lined up here at CNY that you're going to love and you're going to try to do at home. So come on, let's get started. So Michael, tell me what you have in store for us today.
Basically what I'm going to do is one of our popular dishes here. It's artichoke crusted salmon. We get asked all the time how we make it, and I'm going to tell people just about how we make it.
Okay. Keep a little secret going.
So what we're going to do today, I'm going to serve it over a lemon and sweet pea risotto. One of my favorite things to make. We got some nice fresh Atlantic salmon. We're going to make a nice crisp crust on it and top it with some pan-seared baby spinach.
Well, this is great because it's an honor to be here in your kitchen.
Well, thank you.
And I wanted the viewers out there to know this is your kitchen. Usually they see me in my kitchen, and I'm ready to get started because I love learning new things in culinary arts. It's an art, and we all have our own little take on things, and you're going to show me some of yours.
Great.
Let's get going. What do we do first?
Well, first I'm going to get the risotto started. And basically, risotto is just a short grain rice, high in starch. I'm going to cook it down with a little chopped onion, some sort of a fat. I use a chicken stock. And we're going to end up with a nice, creamy, rich risotto. So I'm just going to take a Spanish onion here. I'm just going to start with a small dice. I like to keep a little garbage bucket right on my table here.
Yeah.
Saves a lot of trips to the garbage can. And I'm just going to soften this onion up. When I'm making risotto, I always use, this is my favorite risotto pot that's got a real thick, solid bottom to it. A little olive oil. And when you're cooking things like this that are going to be in the pot for a long time, you really want a good solid bottom. So you're going to, as you know, it's going to prevent scorching and burning and sticking. It's got a lot more forgiveness to it. So we're just going to let those start to soften up.
See, one of the things too that cooking with olive oil is really one of the most healthiest oils to cook with. Yeah.
Absolutely. So I'm going to take just a couple of cups here. And we're going to stir that in and just try to coat that risotto with the oil. And I'm going to add some chicken stock.
Okay.
And I don't have a ladle. We're going to add a little bit of chicken stock. And another thing to remember that I try to remind people at home is mise en place, mise en place, mise en place. Okay. Having everything in place. It's gonna make their lives a lot easier having all these steps done first. when you get ready to serve, you can just throw it all together.
And not everybody understands French out
Yes.
there. So when you say mise en place, that means you get all your ingredients together and
Yes.
staged properly,
Yes.
so that when you're doing your cooking process, you can just grab.
Exactly.
Okay.
Mise en place.
Yes.
Everything in place. So while this is working, this is going to take probably 20 to 25 minutes, and it's a slow, gradual process that you have to be patient with. And this is what we're going to end up with, the initial product. And then we can take this, like I said, and add whatever we want to it, whether it's spinach or artichoke hearts, meats, seafood, different stocks, whatever you'd like, okay? So while that's working, I'm going to go ahead and make the crust, which is very simple. We're going to use some artichoke hearts, some fresh garlic, Parmesan cheese, a little bit of sour cream, some fresh chopped parsley, Romano, French whole grain mustard, and an oregano mix.
Now,
So
the oregano mix, that's your own mix, correct?
yes, yeah, we use that on a lot of different things to kind of crisp things up. We use that in our greens. We use it in quite a few dishes.
And what exactly is that's a breadcrumb?
Yeah,
Mix,
it's a breadcrumb.
okay.
It's a breadcrumb with a seasoning mix that we made, that we mix into it, and that's all I'll say about that.
Great.
Perfect Game Imaging strives to deliver sport action photography that renders images that without us, our clients and customers would normally not even see. I can't tell you how many viewers of our images have asked, "How did you get that shot?" Or, "I didn't even see that happen during the game." It is our mission to have our action shots hanging on the walls of the athletes' families' homes and offices as centerpieces to be cherished for a lifetime.
All right, Michael, so what do we do next?
Basically, we've got our risotto that's getting there. We keep adding that stock and letting that risotto absorb it. It's got another 10, 12, maybe 15 minutes on it. So while that's working, and another big thing to remember is you try to do the things that take the longest first.
That's right, timing.
So everything comes together at the end. But basically what I'm going to do is make my topping for the salmon, which is basically some quartered artichoke hearts. We're going to take a little bit of fresh garlic. For this amount, I've got about 2 cups of artichoke hearts. And for this amount, I'm going to use 1 good clove of garlic. We're just going to chop it up roughly because I'm going to throw it in the food processor in a second. I'm going to take some fresh shredded Parmesan cheese, some sour cream. That's going to give it a nice creamy texture. Some Romano cheese, some fresh chopped parsley, some whole grain mustard, which is my favorite. And I'm going to add some of this seasoned oregano mix. And I want to add that because it's going to kind of hold things together and almost dry it out a little bit, just so it crisps up when we hit the heat with it. So we're going to take this mix, throw it right into our food processor. This is going to make a nice, smooth puree. We get that nice, fresh mix. So now, we're going to end up searing this. So I want to get some oil, just a little bit of oil in the pan. Maybe a tablespoon. We want to get that nice and hot.
Okay.
So in the meantime, I'm going to take my salmon, hit it with a little salt and pepper, which I stuck over there. I like to season everything, so I season my parts and I season my proteins. Not too much, but it's amazing what a little bit of salt and pepper will do. Really brings out the life in things. I'm going to take my crust. We're going to go right on top of that salmon. And like I said, this is a big seller here. People really enjoy it.
It's got a great consistency to it.
Yep. And once that bakes, once it hits that heat, and then we put it in the oven, and those cheeses melt inside of that mix.
Comes right down through
Yep.
it. Yeah.
Yep.
Is this who you'd call if you need a mechanic? Is this who you'd call if you need a babysitter? No Sheep Designs is the right call for your business when you need professional, affordable web development, photography, or video production. With a decade of experience, we have the knowledge and passion to bring your project to life for much less than you'd expect. Visit nosheepdesigns.com today to see how we can help you.
So now, before I put it in that hot oil, I'm going to put a little more of this oregano on, and this is going to give it a nice golden brown color. We'll get that golden brown color, but this just helps it along and gives it even more crunch on top. Let me just pat that right in there. So now once our oil just starts to smoke, we're going to take our salmon and we're going to flip it right upside down, carefully, of course. And you want that sizzle. If you don't have that sizzle and your oil's not hot enough, your topping is going to just absorb all that oil and be real greasy.
Okay.
So we want to get it nice and hot first. So we're going to give this just a couple of minutes. I'm going to work that oil around in the pan just because I want to get it evenly coated.
You can really see it starting to brown up.
Yep, and you can smell all that flavor in there as it's working.
I think that's the saddest part of the viewers that are at home watching this is they can't smell it.
Absolutely. And now I'm just going to scrape right on the bottom of the pan.
Oh, beautiful.
And I'm going to push down just so I can get every bit of that crust off of there. That's the best part, is that stuff that sticks to the pan. A lot of people wouldn't think so, but you get a lot of flavor from that.
Wow, that looks wonderful.
So we got a nice crisp crust on top. The inside still needs to be baked, obviously. So that's the only part of the cooking process is going to be to brown it. I'm going to throw it in a nice hot oven. I've got this oven at about 425, and I'll let that go for about 12 or 15 minutes. In the meantime, my risotto, again, has soaked up that stock.
Looking good.
So I'm just going to take and add a little more chicken stock to it. And that'll probably be the last time I have to do that. But like I said before, it's a real slow process. You got to be patient with it. If you cook it too fast, it's going to break up and get real starchy on you, like glue. And nobody likes that. So it's just about there.
Hey, welcome to Crazy Otto's Empire Diner. That's 100 West Albany Street right here in downtown Herkimer. You may remember me or notice me as the host at CNY Flavor. You can come on that website at cnyflavor.com and learn all about the cooking show that airs on Tuesdays, every Tuesday. But we're talking about Crazy Otto's Empire Diner right now. You know, a lot of times you see TV shows, you wonder if the cook, the chef is there, if he really actually cooks or he actually is in a restaurant. Well, I'm one of the guys that have been there, done that, and is still doing it. Right here, you can come in, you can see me cook. I'm here virtually every day. Here at Crazy Otto's, they don't call us crazy for nothing. Everything here is fresh and homemade. As you can see, we fresh slice our tomato. Everything's done fresh to order. Doing actually a BLT right now. This is Michael, also happens to be my son. Hey, all right. Hey, welcome to Crazy Otto's. Come on in, give us a try. You won't be disappointed. So where are we, Michael?
The next step is, now that our risotto is just about done, I want to take this, and because it's so dense now, it's going to stay hot for a long, long time. And you mentioned food safety. We want to get this to cool down as quickly as we can, because we don't want it to stay in that temperature danger zone, which we call it, for too long. So I'm going to lay it out in a flat pan and get it to cover as much space as I can here, because it's going to help it cool down that much quicker. And then I'll throw it right in the cooler. So in the meantime, I've got some risotto that's already been cooled, and I'm going to use this for my actual risotto for the dish. Okay. So we're going to do a lemon and sweet pea risotto, and basically that's what it is. So we're going to start again with some olive oil. I'm going to take some fresh lemons, and again, they're all cut up, they're all ready to go in our mise en place that we talked about earlier. And I'm going to squeeze them in and then throw them right in there. I'm going to leave them right in.
A lot of people don't realize that the rind on the outside has a lot of flavor to it.
A ton of flavor.
Right in.
Yep. So we go through a lot of fresh lemons, and if you can use fresh, use fresh. The jarred stuff works for certain things, but for the most part, you want to use fresh. You want to get that real bright flavoring from it. So what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to warm this up and saute those lemons a little bit with some fresh garlic. I'm just going to do some nice big slices. We'll just brown that up for a minute. So once that starts to sizzle a little, we'll be able to take our cooked risotto and I'm going to mix it right in. The lemon peels I can take out after, but I really want to get as much flavor out of that lemon as I can. So being that the risotto is already cooked, we're going to do this in kind of a fast process now. We're going to add our Parmesan. It's a big part of the dish. We're going to add our Romano, some parsley, salt and pepper again. And I'm going to stir that in. And I'm going to add a little chicken stock to it just to bring back that creaminess and to help those cheeses melt. And then at the very end, I'm going to add my sweet peas, because I want those to stay nice and bright. If I added them now, they're going to be real dull and gray, and that's not going to be attractive on the final plate. So you see, that's getting real creamy again. Yeah. As those cheese are melting and that rice is absorbing that chicken stock. And that the garlic lemon flavor with that fresh parsley is just traveling through that whole batch of risotto. Now from that point, I'm just going to turn it right off, because again, I don't want the risotto to break up and get too starchy. So I'm going to add my nice fresh peas now, and I'm just going to fold those into it and let the heat of the risotto itself warm up those peas. And that way, when I put them on that final plate to send to my customer, those peas are real nice and bright and kind of jumping out of there. So now, basically, to finish the dish, our risotto's done. Our salmon's just about done in the oven. We've got a little warm demi-glace here, and I just want to sear or wilt some spinach in some hot oil. So to do that, again, I'm just going to use a little bit of garlic, and I like to season everything, so I want to season all the parts so it's balanced. Just going to put that in the hot oil and let that just start to brown. And I want to do this at the very last second if I can, because the spinach is going to cook real fast, and I don't want it to get lost on the dish. I want it to work as a finishing touch and at the same time kind of like an edible garnish as well. So this amount of spinach is probably about a bag that you would get at the grocery store, and it's going to cook down to a real small amount. So I'm going to hit that with a little salt and pepper. And once that pan gets good and hot, I'm going to take it right off the heat and just continue to turn the spinach, because I don't want that to cook down to where it's mush.
Beautiful.
So now we're going to put the plate together. We're going to pull our fresh lemon right back out of the risotto. And again, I've said it a few times, but you have to be patient with risotto. So I'm going to add a little bit more stock to it, because it just keeps absorbing, and that's what it's supposed to do. But I'm just going to add a little more stock. I'm going to put that on the plate. I'm going to take my salmon out of the oven, which is even more golden brown and beautiful. Those cheeses have melted inside that topping. I'm going to put that right on top of the risotto. Got some demi here. Just going to put a little bit of this on the plate. And our spinach. Our nice bright green spinach. And that's our artichoke crusted spinach served over the lemon and sweet pea risotto.
Hey, hope you're having a great Valentine's Day and you enjoyed the segment with Michael's and the artichoke and crusted salmon. I got a very, very special guest here for this segment, and it's Keri Kane, who is the owner and operator of Signature Events that actually will help you put together a wonderful display table event, and I'm going to let her talk a little bit about it, but this is what she does, and it's a way that you can bring it into your home and have a very special event like today, Valentine's Day. Thank you for joining me, Keri.
Thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Tell me a little bit about your business.
I own Signature Events. We're based in New Hartford. We are really a full-service event planning company. We do anything and everything you can imagine. I like to say we specialize in the extraordinary.
Okay.
There's nothing we won't do. There's nothing we can't do. And we really like to do things outside of the box.
So if I wanted to have an intimate dinner with my wife and make the table setting very special, you could help me with that.
Absolutely.
If I want to have a graduation party with 300 people, you could help me with that.
Sure.
4th of July, doesn't matter what the event is, just come to you and your one-stop shop and you can help me do it all. Now, do you do this yourself or do you have help? Would you like to give a shout out to anybody that may be sitting out there in the audience?
I am the owner of Signature Events, but I absolutely could not do it without my right hand, Christina Swan. She's a fabulous assistant, and I owe all of our success to her.
That's great. So Christina, if you're watching, hi. Okay. So Keri, tell me about this table here.
This table is something that we have come up with for someone who is on a shoestring budget. It could be somebody fresh out of college, someone still in high school, someone who really just doesn't want to spend a lot of money but wants to be really fantastic, something a little different, and really impress the person they're making dinner for. Okay. What we started with is a paper cloth. This came from any kind of craft store. This one came from Joann's. You can get it at Party City, Hobby Lobby, any craft store in your area. It's a paper table, and what we've done to enhance it just a little bit is to take a stamp that also came from a craft store, and we have just stamped a little heart design across this tablecloth just to give it a little something extra. What we've also done with the same stamp is to create this border that you'll see over here around what is a piece of scrapbook paper to act as a charger. Simply put it on the ink pad, press it down, and then what you're going to do is wherever you want to stamp, you put it directly on the paper mat, press down, lift up.
Wow, that's
it's that simple.
That's a novel concept there.
It adds something, just a little extra to your very simple paper cloth.
Okay, so I noticed the stamps, and I'm looking at the place setting. You got the napkin set up in a unique way. How'd you do that?
This is nothing more than a paper napkin from Party City. A package of 10 is $2.99. You're going to open this paper napkin, fold it in half. Actually, it's easiest if you fold it in half in your hand. Grab the center.
Okay.
Pull it up, twist the bottom. You now have a cone style. We simply took a piece of this garland that was also on clearance at Joann's and wrapped it right around the base of this napkin, and it's wire garland, so it's really nice and formed. All you have to do is put it exactly where you want it. When you're done, you simply twist it at the base. Now your napkin is tied. You now that it's secure, can move it however you like, do anything you want with it. You can use one napkin, you can use two napkins. If there was another color that you wanted to pull in, you could lay another napkin in here. Lay one square, the other one opposite, kind of diagonal, so you have different edges. Pull them both together, secure them the same way. Another little creative thing that we did here to just give it a little more flair was to take the same type of scrapbook paper, and it's a coordinating print, punch it out. It looks like a price tag or a name tag.
Right.
Put a hole in it with a standard hole punch. You're going to put it on one end of the garland. Simply cross it again. Tie it down. You could write a name on here if you were having a dinner for your whole family. You could put your kids' names on it to signify who got what table space. Something a little different. Or you could write a little message to your loved one on the tablecloth.
That's a great idea.
So you've really got your tablecloth is yours. You can make it whatever you want with some simple ink, which was $1 a piece. These stamps are $1 a piece. Again, the napkins, the paper, the scrapbook paper makes a big difference. Now you're going to set the table however you want, with whatever plates you have at home. And this table was designed with things that you have at home. We got a few things from the craft store, but everything else is things that we had at home. We had Red Hots on hand because it's Valentine's Day. Who doesn't love Red Hots? Tea lights, just about every girl has tea lights in her candle cupboard.
Right.
And mason jars. If you don't have mason jars, you can use juice glasses. You could use Pilsner glasses. You could use a wine glass and tip it upside down and place the tea light on the end of it if you like, on the top.
Cost-wise, okay, because naturally you mentioned the stamps and stuff at $1 a piece. Those you can use ad infinitum forever.
Yes.
And so you get to reuse them. Mm-hmm. But how much would a table like this cost, dollar-wise, to get set up?
This table was less than $15.
Less than $15.
$14.89 to be exact.
Really?
Yes.
And that's the Red Hots, the napkins, the tablecloth,
yes.
Everything.
Sure, everything that we have. And keep in mind too, especially when you're on a budget, there are coupons available. Joann's has coupons, Michael's has coupons, Hobby Lobby has coupons. Each individual store takes competitors' coupons. So if you find something that you absolutely love at Joann's and you only have a Michael's coupon, let them know you have it. They'll take it. That knocks your cost down even more, and you've still got a fabulous item.
That is a great tip right there. That's worth the whole show. Listen to that.
So this is